This is a good opportunity to penetrate human internal affairs. Their every move can be captured. In the car, the driver was not concentrating on driving but kept looking at Hee-cheoling. After looking at the face, then looking at the soul, the bus assistant gave Hee-cheoling 10 points, just the way British people like. The driver was looking at her but thought she was looking at him. Still afraid of people confessing their love. Don't know how to refuse. Are you off driving? Suddenly Hee-cheoling hit his head on the car and then went back to sleep. The car reached the main road, and the two men in the car still couldn't stop talking nonsense. I'd even thought of a nickname to give Hee-cheoling. Girl who likes to sleep in Sleeping Beauty. Hee-cheoling fell asleep because Hee-cheoling had reached his limit. Controlling your body for 15 hours is too draining. It seems that this is the maximum she could achieve. Wu Ziyu told Hee-cheoling that he would periodically give her more life essence to control her body. When she was in pain, she immediately felt happy when she heard that she was being given milk. No different from the review article. I heard that a raise in salary is a joy. The life essence not only nourishes the soul but also helps Hee-cheoling quickly evolve. To Hee-cheoling was no different from treasure. The wind wolves have returned. They are just as injured as the humans, but it's a little better than honey badger. The honey badger can't even walk home on its own. The alpha wolf released the honey badger. It remained silent and did not move until it finally opened its eyes. Wu Ziyu looked at his bloody juniors and felt pity. It seemed like the fight with Yan Goyuan was very fierce. If it wasn't a honey badger, it would probably be dead. The fighting was really intense, but the reason he was seriously injured and paralyzed was because the honey badger chased someone. The honey badger awkwardly tried to stand up. Now with an appearance like this, if they directly drink the life essence, I'm afraid they can't stand the pressure and explode. Must think differently. Wu Ziyu pulled up his roots. Tree roots reached thousands of miles away, plus upgraded vision when reaching rank 1. He found a stream. I've found the stream, but first I need to get some rocks. Then use the roots to dig a ditch to bring water back to create an artificial lake. Finally, add the living essence. The water in the lake mixes with the sparkling life essence. The swimming pool at a 5-star hotel is not as nice. Wu Ziyu used vines as arms to make movements. Oh, I see. What I mean by that is that the vital essence will be even warmer after being taken out. The lake is like a bowl of soup my mother cooked, extremely attractive. The animals look small, but they don't slurp, because this lake is for the wind wolf herd and the honey badger as today's winning reward. Wu Ziyu put the honey badger in the water for it to drink with the wolves. Wu Ziyu recognized that he was also smart, naturally thought of making the lake. Extremely convenient. A drop of life essence turns the lake into a small sauna pool. Although it is incomparable to the spirit power river flowing underground, but you can also let the animals heal themselves. Spirit Power River, or more simply Ling, which he first discovered, was also called Yinli River. The river carries a flow containing a large amount of spiritual energy. Because of it, Wu Ziyu filled the ground with his roots, constantly absorbing the essence of the river. Just 10 days makes the main tree trunk 200 to 300 meters underground, sooner or later covered with Wu Ziyu's tree roots. Ling has great effects. Perhaps similar to mutant wild beasts, this special underground resource will likely be something people fight to get in the future. To usurp oil, countries still fight each other, not to mention a river with spirit power that changes physical health. Away from the remote forest, arriving in the magnificent city, Hee-cheoling was taken to a huge building. The staff took her out of the car. The huge building in front of her eyes was the Institute for the Study of the Superhuman. You could tell by the name and its size, but Hee-cheoling didn't show any special emotions. She followed the employee into the building. From inside the building, there was someone who had been waiting for her for a long time. From behind the glass, the old man with a thick beard and hair had been observing her for a long time. He wondered who would be stronger between Hee-cheoling and the others. At the Institute for the Study of the Superhuman, Yan Goyuan reported the situation to the old man. It seems he is the leader here. According to Yan Goyuan, there is a high possibility that there are powerful mutated monsters in the canyon. According to the current situation, the entire mountain may have mutated. The fog that never cleared still affected the spirit of those who entered. According to conjecture from his personal thoughts, the fog was the cause of the area's mutation. But currently there is no definitive evidence. Indeed, the mutation is very difficult to explain, But after all, the danger of the fog is not great. Temporarily classify the ravine area as a yellow area. The monitoring process detects fluctuations that will change to a red area. After Yan Goyewon finished reporting and was about to leave, the old man brought up the story and heard that Yan Goyewon brought back a little girl today. That's what I remember, is a girl with the fire element. Yan Goyewon added that this girl's qualifications could become the strongest in the future. The old man listened and was half convinced, wondering if Yan Goyewon was too flattering. But it's the unreal sublime, so it's somewhat believable. On regional decentralization, green areas are places where people can live comfortably. The yellow zone is a dangerous area that needs monitoring. Red zones are especially dangerous areas that must be continuously monitored. When necessary, repression will be carried out. There is also an extremely special area. Uncontrollable level of danger. Life forbidden zone. There is only one place in the world that falls into. This area is the Great Triangle 100 Tombs. This place, before Aura, absorbed the light of the whole world. After having Aura, it became a forbidden place for all living beings, as well as the Bermuda Triangle in our world. There are many golden areas in the world. Therefore, the fact that Wuziu's territory was included in the Golden Group was fortunate. Supervision is as loose as it seems. In the forest, the badger was roaring and preparing for a decisive battle. The opponent it chose was the red wolf at the end of stage 8. Compared to it, which had just entered stage 6, the difference was extremely different. But it's a honey badger. From 1st grade to 5th grade, the badger is not afraid of anything. This level 8 wolf, it used the momentum to rush forward and scream loudly. Then he took a bite and stuck his head to the ground. The red wolf doesn't even need to sweat to be cool and fierce. The fans cheered and applauded endlessly. The young honey badger was still unconvinced even though he had just been beaten to a bloody nose and still wanted to attack again. Wuziu laughed while holding the vine. But the red wolf doesn't care. The honey badger left angrily. This is also considered a peaceful time for Wuziu. From that day on, people no longer came to travel. But it's best to stay calm. While thinking long and short, Wine Wolf brought back animals. The pig and mouse were still alive. They invited the willow tree to eat first. So convenient. No need to go catch it. Immediately use vines to finish off the 2 animals. Received a total evolution score of 172 points. Taming the animals does not seem to be useless. Even if they don't care about anything, they will bring back animals to kill to get points. After that, they ask for the corpse to chew on. Wuziu took the points and threw the pig carcass back to the wolves, who each took a bite. Honey badgers also participate. The kids who eat grass don't complain. Their mouths are chipped or something and they eat and drink everywhere. The food is indescribably disgusting. The red wolf is also a carnivore but has no appetite. It holds itself aloft above, looking at the beasts with judgmental eyes. It seems like he thinks he's superior or something. Or it avoids society. This damn yellow monkey secretly picked Wuziu's leaves, eating so much that he woke up thin food to absorb beneficial substances. Currently, the yellow monkey is reaching stage 4, the stork is reaching stage 5. Let's open the system to see if we can evolve further. Turns out it's also possible to upgrade vines. Lifting a string -5 points. 50 strings are 250 points. Selling too expensive. First, lift half a set. Using 125 evolution points, 25 vines gain new abilities, specifically reaching a hardness equal to steel and the ability to secrete numbness and lethargic toxins. More specifically, after death, life properties can recover automatically without consuming evolution points. Amazing good job! The attack gives it effect. That's the theory, don't know what the actual effect is. Just in time for the badger to start a fight with the buffalo, he conveniently poked it. The honey badger lay trembling on the ground. The whole world had only the injured honey badger. Yes, the boss beat me and I really enjoyed it. Wuziu thought that Poke was a honey badger and fainted. Who would have thought that the next second, he stood up healthy and normal and continued to want to find a buffalo to fight with. Wuziu was angry, thinking that the system was lying, and slammed the vines to the ground, arguing to get their points back. Hixiao King saw it and was amused. It's true that you don't see the animal world. The honey badger is an omnivore and is naturally resistant to toxins. Not to mention it has mutated some anesthetics, which of course have no effect on its body. Wu Ziyu contemplated Hixoling's body awakening to the fire element. Hixoling's soul awakens his spiritual talent. Later, through manipulation of Hixoling's body, Hixoling received additional human evil sources along with the life essence of the willow tree. It doesn't take much time for monsters to form and humanity to mature. Wu Ziyu gave Hixoling more life essence, reminding her that she must pass the test to enter the organization tomorrow and must not give the opportunity to anyone. Hixoling saw the bright life essence and quickly agreed. Wu Ziyu added another sentence, "If someone wants to stop it, you know how to do it, right?" Hixoling became less cheerful. She knows what to do. At the Spirit Power Research Institute, Hixoling began entering the testing area and declared that he would definitely not fail. Institute for the Study of the Superhuman is a special place specializing in research on spirit power structures. This place gathers awakened people from all over the country and also has professors specializing in teaching necessary skills. The Institute's goals include researching spirit power and cultivating superhumans. In Yan Goiwen's eyes, Hixoling was a rare supernatural person. Hixoling looked down and was startled by the massive structure below. Instead of calling this place an institution, let's use the name Academy to make it more familiar. Yan Goiwen led Hixoling into a room filled with people, all of whom were newly awakened people summoned here. They come from all over the country, some with blue hair, some with red hair, and some who look special. But among that special group of people, there was a playboy sister with blue eyes and a prominent mole. The playboy sister glanced at Hixoling standing next to Yan Goiwen and thought to herself who she was, looking so rustic. Standing this far away, I can still smell the strong smell of mud. You're so beautiful. If you don't open your mouth, it's still 10 points. The old principal appeared from above and began to preach that more and more mutant creatures were appearing in the world, threatening human survival. If humans cannot evolve, it means accepting to be eliminated by the world. This is a true statement. Even in a world without mutations, people who do not cultivate and develop themselves will soon be eliminated by society. After gently analyzing the world situation, he shouted and urged the young people by saying that the wheel of the times would turn by them. But before that, they need to become stronger before they can continue to shoulder the new era. The Institute for the Study of the Superhuman was born for this reason. The old man shouted. At the beginning of the new era, the crowd below responded with great enthusiasm. Who doesn't want to be Superman to save the world? Thank you for registering. The first round is the ability test where the new person will place their hand on the glowing stone surface between two stone tablets engraved with ancient characters to test the level of spirit power under the supervision of the spiky-haired man. The first one opened relatively successfully with 1200 spirit power. Intermediate level, followed by a series of people with low spirit power. Index from 20 to 270 brings a cheerful soul. Preparing to take on the world, he encounters an ability test that reveals his true form. They collapsed in pain and rolled on the floor. It took a whole bunch of people to find a mid-level guy with 900 spirit power, and the bonus was a guy with only 5 spirit power. The first person to reach a super low level. The pointy-headed man couldn't stand the index being much lower than the previous courses in his entire teaching life. This course was probably the lowest. The next person to check in was a playboy sister named Linling. She was extremely calm. She placed her hand on the stone surface. Her spirit power changes the color of the light source between the two stones to yellow. It seems like she also has talent. No wonder she looks down on others so much. The pointed man opened his eyes wide. Linling's spirit power reached 2000 high-level classification. Be the first to reach high level. Linling waved her hair and walked out with just one spirit power test that had earned her countless fans. That's right. Even the first generation's spirit power stat couldn't be reached, and she also has a beautiful face that hasn't opened her mouth yet, so it's still 10 points. Linling gritted her teeth and cursed silently in her head. She completely despised those people. That index is of course something surprising to her. I'm a playboy sister, not you guys. Hixoling was the last person to be tested. Hixoling glanced at the playboy sister, catching her attention. On this side, the pointy-headed man is grumbling in his mouth. Having a person reach 2000 spiritual power in 2 years is enough. We must try to nurture this person as the hope of the nation. It's okay for the next person to check if the spirit power level is weak. Hee-Xiaoling went in to perform the inspection. The old man above and Yan Goyuan carefully observed. Old man asked Yan Goyuan, is Hee-Xiaoling more powerful than Playboy sister? Yan Goyuan did not dare to say it in advance, but he affirmed that the fire element absolutely cannot be underestimated. Yan Goyuan constantly flattered Hee-Xiaoling, making the old man pay even more attention to Hee-Xiaoling. He was starting to get interested. Hee-Xiaoling placed his hand on the stone surface. Boom! Spirit power emitted violently, turning the entire stone table into a large yellow pillar of light. Not pale yellow but bright yellow that lights up the whole area. The sharp-haired man saw it, and his lower jaw dropped in shock. He screamed 5,000. Super high level. Mom! The two observers above could not help but be shocked. Yan Goyuan, even though he knew Hee-Xiaoling had potential, he didn't expect it to be so great. Not only them, everyone in the room was shocked that Hee-Xiaoling's stats had not stopped increasing. Reached more than 6,000. Finally, it blew up the stone table. The pointy-headed man standing closest took the first blow and was immediately blown away. The other people standing further away also had to try their best to stay afloat. After Hee-Xiaoling blew up the organization, he still acted innocent. Luckily, didn't measure first. If the supervisor explodes, who will be able to measure? The man with the pointed head, after witnessing the explosion of spirit power, appeared. This is definitely the best course. The old man's face turned pale. The spirit power meter exploded, costing a fortune to repair. Still trying to smile. This old man must have gone to town mentally. Linling's whole body trembled. She finally opened her mouth because she was so shocked and was deducted 1 point for elegance because she still couldn't remove the word rustic from her sentence. The pointed-headed man cheerfully continued the second round. His smile was commended by the candidate as disgusting. This second round has a hierarchy of people with over 100 spiritual energy who will choose high, middle, and low gates depending on their ability to go to different testing areas to conduct a superhuman ability test. I don't know what the test will be like, but the staff member looks very prestigious. Hee-Xiaoling and Linling are both high class, so they are placed in the same group. Along with them are several other supporting characters. Welcoming them behind the door was Yan Goyuan standing alone, adjusting his sleeves. What does Linling mean by smirking? I don't think I can take on the whole group alone. Say it right and say it loudly. The next problem is that any guest can touch Yan Goyuan. As long as you touch it, it's over. Leaving the city, returning to the ravine, there was a mutant willow basking in the sun. The weather is really nice today. Let's take a breath. It seems a bit rotten. Oh no, it's rotten. What is this honey badger demon doing? I'm blind. Give me the whip right away so I can beat it. You're dead. Before he could hit him, Wu Ziyu had already whipped him on the butt. If you think about it, maybe the honey badger is fertilizing the tree. Unfortunately, this tree does not use fertilizer. In the forest, everything is still lifeless, but in Hee-Xiaoling's place, things are not so good. The whole group of people knelt on the ground around Yan Goyuan. It wasn't because they knelt down to worship Yan Goyuan as their master, but because they were in so much pain that they couldn't stand up. It's not okay for Yan Goyuan to happily provoke new recruits at this level. When the master comes down to play with the new students, what do you say? Only Linling and Hee-Xiaoling were still standing, but they were also breathing extremely hard. At this rate, sooner or later you will be eliminated. Linling, I don't know if Hee-Xiaoling controls Hee-Xiaoling. If he can't pass the test, his salary will be deducted for sure. Around Yan Goyuan, one person after another competed to taste the soil, except for two high-ranking girls. One is Playboy sister who doesn't like mud. One person is a country girl who is too familiar with the taste of mud. Both were standing in front of Yan Goyuan. He raised his hand to look at his watch. Not good. Only 10 minutes left. If you two don't try harder, you'll only be able to pass the first round. Come and take possession of me immediately. Linling heard Yan Goyuan say that her ass was itchy, but she couldn't do anything but just let out a frustrated sigh. Hee-Xiaoling panted like a buffalo when she regained her breath. She screamed and said she couldn't be eliminated. That's right, being eliminated means fasting. The spirit power source around Hee-Xiaoling flared up violently in the form of fire energy. Hee-Xiaoling looked like he was turning into Super Saiyan. All his hair stood up. This of course Linling cannot do. Just say wow. Yan Goyuan still stood still. waiting for the attack. He was even smiling. The person he brought back from the mountain has superior strength. The other guys in the first match and each showing burst of Yan Goiwen's energy were so happy, it proved he had an eye for people. He Cholin used fire to increase his attack speed, which Yan Goiwen could see through. He also intentionally saw how well He Cholin controlled his abilities. I won't be easily captured by you. He Cholin used the ground as a jumping platform, continuously jumping at such high speed that he could not see people clearly. Yan Goiwen's head also hurts a bit. As for the Playboy sister, she couldn't believe her eyes. Watch more fake poor presidents, sister, and never look down on others. He Cholin performed a performance far beyond human level. She continuously jumps back and forth around Yan Goiwen like Pikachu. The judges standing outside were shocked and speechless, only knowing that it was very amazing. He Cholin launched a few rounds to let Yan Goiwen play cross-eyed, then suddenly attacked from below the chin up. Luckily, Yan Goiwen dodged in time, followed by a series of other dangerous groups. He Cholin's eyes glowed with murderous aura and madly attacked Yan Goiwen. The question is just touching, but you act like you want to take someone's life. Who dares to give the station? Yan Goiwen jumped into the air to avoid danger. Once in the air, he could no longer dodge. He Cholin was about to touch Yan Goiwen when out of nowhere a blow flew towards his neck. It turned out to be Linling. I was invisible just now, so I forgot. It turns out that Linling not only misbehaved but also played dirty. Tong came out of nowhere and robbed He Cholin right in the face to get the upper hand. Yan Goiwen saw that and Yan Goiwen was surprised. After the kick, He Cholin flew straight into the wall, landing on his face. Linling raised his hand and patted Yan Goiwen's shoulder as if he had passed the challenge. But Yan Goiwen's face looked disdainful, a girl who was being rude. We are over 60 years old this year and have never seen a case like this. The judges went from being shocked by He Cholin's strength to being shocked by Linling's vileness. Both were sweating profusely. The second round ended. Yan Goiwen hurriedly ran towards He Cholin. He Cholin sat blankly on the spot, blood flowing from his head, but he didn't scream, so he had to let Yan Goiwen call for him. He Cholin didn't care about the wound that was continuously bleeding. In her head, only the words of her boss were echoing. If someone stopped her, you know what to do, right? He Cholin was silent. Next to her, Yan Goiwen shouted loudly, demanding to take her to the medical station, then stopped playing. He Cholin stopped Yan Goiwen's throat with an expressive word. Go away. He Cholin's eyes opened wide like a wild beast, glowing pupils filled with anger. Linling approached He Cholin sarcastically. 6,000 spirit power is that kind of level. If you lose, then quickly go back to the mountains. Is it humiliating to say that? Maybe the Playboy sister should apply anti-humiliation cream. Playboy sister's response was a statement to eliminate all those who stood in the way from He Cholin's mouth. Playboy sister still doesn't understand after hearing it for the first time, so let's go through the illustration to understand. He Cholin used lightning speed to grab Linling's head and press it to the ground. The attack contained all the rage like a bomb thrown straight at Linling's face. The huge explosion sent smoke and dust flying everywhere. He Xiaoking didn't stop there and grabbed Linling's throat to stop her from talking. Her face was filled with extremely terrifying murderous intent. Even though his throat was grabbed, he still couldn't stop Linling's beak. This country girl let me go. The test is over and you want to kill me exactly. Who was this bad boy who stole my credit just now? If anything stands in her way, she will bury it all. He Cholin transformed into a ferocious beast, holding Linling with one hand and using a fire fist with the other, ready to punch and break Linling's avatar. Linling, now that she was afraid, she quickly admitted her mistake and asked He Cholin for forgiveness. No baby, the blow immediately fell. The speed of this attack is equal to the previous Pikachu attack. Fortunately, Yan Goiwen used Sagosi's speed to stop him, otherwise Linling would have had to stop walking around. Yan Goiwen shouted stop, stop. He said they both passed the test. I just said I was playing to increase morale and fight hard. He Cholin turned back to look at Yan Goiwen with an extremely dangerous face. A second later, I realized I had passed the round. He Cholin immediately smiled brightly like a flower. Turn around faster than your ex-lover. Once it's over, there's no need to kill anymore, leaving Linling unconscious on the ground. If Yan Goiwen is too stupid to fight any longer, he probably won't be able to stop Hixoling. Angry women are truly terrible. The old man standing above, observing everything, was stiffened by Hixoling's strength, stammering as he talked about key training for this female student. So Hixioking, through Hixoling, completed the entrance exam. Immediately raised 2 fingers to report to the boss. Wu Ziyu happily appeared to be my illegitimate daughter. You two, ah no, a ghost and a tree high-five each other to celebrate. Hixoling later that day became a famous genius throughout the country. Talented youth with no real strength has entered stage 8, is a key training student of the Institute for the Study of the Superhuman. Hixioking and Hixoling's old village left the mountain for their own safety, even though they don't want to, but they don't want to die. Time passes by. The cold winter has come. Every day, Wu Ziyu continues to evolve his branches. Baby snake killed. People have left, but it's dangerous. They're not afraid of the cold. The smell of blood and carnage continued to linger in the air. The hidden mutated monster this time is a large beast with 2 large and long buck teeth like a mammoth, and especially it is also ranked first like Wu Ziyu. In the northwest area, there are rocks covered with purple crystals. Lying on those rocks are a series of large and small animal corpses piled on top of each other. The reason for these corpses lying around is the human exploitation of Lingxi. Even though the human side sacrificed a lot, getting the mine was worth the effort. They were exploring the ore mine, not knowing when a bright eye had been looking at them. Behind them suddenly appeared a large centipede dressed in black and white with diamonds and thousands of purple eyes. While he was wearing luxurious clothes, the people looked ugly. He had seen it and he had judged it. After that, the centipede decided to deal with the people to make the mine less bad. There are no specific images, but the scream is very loud. The problem is that humans, who've had spirit power scanning satellites, how could they let such a large centipede pass by? Surely the centipede has some special trick to cover up the spirit power. As for Wu Ziyu, he completed upgrading all the vines very quickly and only reached the peak of rank 1. Now lift 8 more roots and you're done. After that, you can reach rank 2. After entering rank 2, drop an atomic bomb on him before he dies. If not, the immortality rate is a bit high. However, there is another rather big problem here. As well as when entering rank 2, the process of raising rank will create spirit power waves. This not only attracts other creatures, but also shows humans his existence. Extremely dangerous. It's not humans who know how scary humans are. Wu Ziyu was thinking back and forth when Hixioking suddenly reported some bad news. At the Institute for the Study of the Superhuman, Yan Goiwen was mentally weak and suffered a great shock when he received notice that the entire ore mining squad in the northwest had been wiped out. The spirit power of the stone ores spreads outward, attracting many monsters. It's not that they don't research first before going. Initially, the total spirit power of the monsters was only 4,000. Who knows, maybe a centipede with 12,000 spirit power will emerge. Yan Goiwen felt tense listening. After the squad was chewed up, the super team was sent to suppress the centipede, in a fire that is too big to be allowed, revealing the strange silhouette of a large centipede. This time, the human opponent is definitely not the type that is easy to deal with. Hixoling enthusiastically reported that the first information that reached Wu Ziyu's ears was the discovery of humankind's spirit power. What would happen if humans possessed spirit power? Dill will grow dozens of weapon fields containing spirit power or spirit power enhancing potions, for example, is generally more dangerous for mutant species, specifically Wu Ziyu. Hixioking is currently entering stage 9. Miss Tuong thoroughly explained to Wu Ziyu about Lingxi. The northwest region discovered natural spirit power ore, causing all parties to compete for it. The Research Institute also did not stand by and watch. Lingxi is a purple stone crystallized from spirit power. Imagine this. Sugar water is spirit power, then rock sugar is Lingxi. That is, Lingxi contains a huge amount of spirit power that can increase the level of the power used. By using the power of Lingxi, humans can reach the level of a highly mutated creature. My head hurts when I hear it. I originally thought that after reaching rank 3, I could not see what people were like. Suddenly, people found Lingxi to easily upgrade to keep up with the power of mutated creatures at breakneck speed. Wu Ziyu frowned. Humans were disgusting. Yet the situation has changed. But Mr. Wu Ziyu wants us to live. From the perspective of mutant creatures, humans' discovery of the spirit power is their 3 disasters. But for humans, Lingxi is the 7 blessings that save humanity from doom. King reported the next shocking news. Spirit power ore is one thing, having a queen centipede is another thing. This centipede, you are a cunning centipede too. Wu Ziyu sounded like lightning struck his ears. The queen centipede not only buried the ore mining squad alive, but also chewed up half of the cent super team. Oh my god, what wakes up? How did the centipede get to rank 2 so smoothly? Humans have satellites that scan spiritual energy, so they should be able to eliminate the budding magnetite centipede. Does the centipede have the ability to hide too well? Wu Ziyu panicked and asked King, have humans resisted or not? King replied that the centipede appeared too suddenly. Moreover, it was not very weak, threatening size within the mainland. After hearing about the centipede, Wu Ziyu became silent and asked King if he could fight the centipede. Of course not, boss, you can't even give him shoes. The fighting force of the Lord Slayer reached more than 120,000. Wu Ziyu only reached 1.60,000, not even equal to its odd number. It takes a lot of milk to raise and comes back with bad news and criticism of weak crabs. Extremely sad. Forget it, go home, another time will come to torment this heart. Clear. King returned to the Institute for the Study of the Superhuman under the body of Ling and found a great master or professor. This man has a hairstyle that burns more than free fire. If that is not hair, then this master is definitely not human. He didn't know why Ling came to his research room. Ling asked to go to the Northwest region. He did not agree and said that when he caught the centipede, he would show it to her. Now at home, Ling was shocked and expressed doubt that humans could hurt a centipede. The master was extremely calm. But do you think that black and white centipede can stay powerful forever? He also told Ling to rest assured that Ling's ore would soon be ready. Ling asked why the centipede was so big. Why wasn't it discovered? The master believes that one is a centipede that has the ability to hide. The second reason he appears to be more dangerous. The second reason the problem is most likely in the spirit power ore. His tone hinted more at the second possibility. That scared Ling even more. The first kestrel cried out loudly, informed Wu Ziyu that they had released the queen ant. I guess it's a bird, so he's planning on giving Wu Ziyu the insect portion or something. Wu Ziyu saw it and sweat dropped. These 8 stupid birds are okay. Thanks to the return of the ant queen, there is a whole colony of ants to increase evolution points. No need to worry about not having points to upgrade anymore. Wu Ziyu treated a whole group of ants beautifully. The red wolf also helps. It is currently stage 8. The older I get, the colder and more serious I feel. How cute he was when he was little. The evolution score has reached 882 points, enough to raise all 8 remaining roots. But it seems that Wu Ziyu is not very excited. This time, lifting 8 roots means the pain is equivalent to giving birth to 8 children at once. But for a future that can be comparable to the centipede, we must become stronger. He gathered all his courage and was ready to evolve. First, the roots shoot out of the ground. Next, they struggled and became crazy. Finally, it molts into black roots. The roots, after being peeled, continued to struggle, causing pain in Wu Ziyu. He clenched his mouth tightly. No matter how painful it was, he had to endure it and become stronger no matter how hard it was. At first, it was just pain. Then the pressure of lifting 8 roots at the same time was so great that his egg cracked. Evolution is not easy at all. The same forest was in another place, a long snow line decorated with drops of fresh blood. At the end of the snow line was the honey badger lying flat on the cold ground. It's even crying. What is it that makes honey badger cry? Is it true that your fan dance doesn't create a trend? The beginning and end of the story is that the honey badger goes fishing on the glacier. Soaked in cold water all day to bring out a fat fish. The honey badger happily bit the fish on the shore and was about to enjoy it when he saw a skinny little squirrel standing in front of the cave, staring. I accidentally turned around and took a look. From a squirrel, it turned into a family of squirrels. The whole family, from old to young, looked at the honey badger's fish, stomach gurgling, no need to hide it. How come you don't know how to beg? Honey badger lives a meaningful life. Of course I will give them food. Honey badger hath, the whole family hath. After finishing eating, The representative of the Squirrel Association gave the badger a large chestnut. Both sides happily waved goodbye to each other. Honey Badger liked this cheap nut very much and remembered that in the past he also gave peach seeds to Hikshola in exchange for dried beef. Not long after the sea calmed down, fierce waves came. Behind the Honey Badger, there was a huge explosion that knocked Tuyet away, throwing peach seeds out of Honey Badger's hand. Honey Badger, lying on the ground, turned his head back to see who had just sneaked up on him and was greeted with eyes as big as car tires. That eye is staring closely at the Honey Badger with an unfriendly look. The owner of the eye is a mutated giant turtle larger than a container truck. Honey Badger standing under it, looking up, makes me want to crack my neck. The giant turtle's enormous size scared the badger's soul out. Tears filled my eyes, and I couldn't stop stammering. Looking closely, there was a pool of blood under his feet. It belonged to someone other than the little squirrel family from earlier. The Honey Badger is very scared, but the Honey Badger is even more bitter that this monster killed his friend. The badger's gallbladder and intestines were in pain like tears. He opened his mouth and rushed forward to declare war on that huge beast. Really brave. Normally, I'm not afraid of heaven or earth, so I hit everyone when I meet them. But now I'm afraid. But because of anger, I rush forward without hesitation. When Wolf patrols the ground, quickly discovered bloodstains on the white snow. They found the barely alive Honey Badger slowly being covered by snow. Even though it was lying paralyzed on the cold snow, it was still grinding its teeth. Water keeps flowing out. It doesn't consider survival a blessing. It must be able to chew that monster to be satisfied. The Honey Badger was brought back to Wuziu. He looked silently for a while. It seemed that today's Honey Badger's opponent was not his average type. Wuziu thought it was good that the badger escaped. He small essence lives directly on badger honey. Honey Badger receiving milk changes from mouth open state to mouth open, but eyes open. Even though he received a drop of pure life essence, he still hasn't fully recovered. I have to soak it in the lake a little longer to regain my health. The attacked Junior Wuziu of course did not leave it alone because the badger was lucky enough to escape. He ordered Winged Wolf to hunt down the attacker. Even the Red Wolf went away. This time I will definitely find that bastard and deal with him. The badger who had to be soaked in water and now able to hide his body perfectly from the fog is definitely not weak. We must find out quickly before that guy becomes stronger beyond control. When did I follow Hiksyoking and move forward like a ghost? Is tense. Startled me. Ah, she's really a ghost. This time he came back with earth-shattering news. Ling Shi has the ability to hide traces of spirit power. It turns out that Ling Shi separates spirit power. No wonder you killed so much and escaped human detectors. Hiksyoking let out Wuziu wait a little longer, and soon she will also possess Ling Shi. Hiksyoking intended to bring Ling Shi back to Wuziu, but was interrupted by him. Haven't proposed yet. He had no intention of touching the human resources given to Hiksyoking. Basic is not enough. Wuziu, when breakthrough reaches level 3, can't stop it with just 1 or 2 Ling Shi. This time it was Hiksyoking who didn't think carefully. The day Wuziu entered rank 3, the momentum was sure to reverberate through heaven and earth. At that time, even if I wanted to hide it, I couldn't hide it. Wuziu reassured Hiksyoking to find Ling Shi ore slowly. Wuziu's feelings towards aura are the most sensitive. The entire river of spiritual energy flows underground. He can't even find it. Let alone what? Wuziu began to tense like a string. His brain suddenly cleared, causing him to scream loudly. Just now, thinking of it, brother. Ling under the ground comes from somewhere that carries within it the flow containing spirit power. He was sweating profusely. Could it be that Lin's upstream is Ling Shi ore? Things are getting more and more complicated. The Honey Badger attacker may very well be hiding thanks to Ling Shi. If so, it is not beyond the realm of possibility that this beast's strength far exceeds that of the previous snake baby. He gathered his juniors to announce a change of plan. No more revenge. If you take revenge now, it will most likely result in death. Hiksyoking believes that the person who attacked the Honey Badger wanted to take over the Ling Shi ore. If that's true, it will be difficult for that guy to hide himself anymore. Wuziu is not completely sure about that yet. Now divide the juniors into 3 lines. Winged Wolf and Red Wolf went to the scene and used their sense of smell to search for the enemy. Children who can fly should check from the sky to make sure they don't miss anything. As for Hiksyoking, He dug a hole and went straight underground, following Ling to find the source of the river. This mission is only to probe. If anything happens, you must report it in advance and absolutely do not rush into battle arbitrarily. After receiving orders, whoever is assigned the place will go. Ground, in the sky, deep in the cave. Follow those 3 paths. Wu Ziyu could only stand there praying that everything would go as planned. King went underground through the hole and was overwhelmed by Wu Ziyu's pile of tree roots. She followed the water to find its source. On the ground, the red wolf and his companions followed the scent and found a large crack. The flock of birds also arrived just in time. The whole group gathered together in one place. This place is of course an unusual place that needs to be found. King flew to the end of the Spirit Power River and indeed discovered Spirit Power ore. Lingxi is everywhere. Being found so quickly proves that it's not too far from Wu Ziyu's place. The person living in the cave seems to have detected an intruder and shouted loudly with the purpose of warning those who trespassed on their territory. Don't bother, but came quickly. Just using your mouth is extremely powerful. According to King, the pressure is even greater than that of Wu Ziyu. I'm so scared I have to go in and see what it is. Deep in the cave, the giant turtle crouched in its shell, revealing only 2 bright eyes. In front of it there is a small flower. It seems like it is guarding that flower. King hid behind the stone pillar and realized that the beast this time was an African turtle. It was this one who injured the honey badger. The power of the giant turtle is extremely prestigious. Fortunately, it created karma, so it was detected early. After a while, the consequences will be extremely unpredictable. Ignoring the huge turtle, there was a small red flower growing out of Lingxi. The full name of the flower is blood herb. Is a semi-biological type of ore. For the lava land turtle, it is a rare treasure that is hard to find. You don't need to be a turtle to know that this flower has powerful powers. After Wu Ziyu used it, he would definitely get stronger using stimulants. If the blood herb was useless and harmful, the giant turtle wouldn't have needed to try to protect it. While thinking, a big mouth opened, biting straight into the stone pillar. King had just hidden. Blood herb and King were simultaneously thrown away. King was so shocked. How can this turtle see ghosts? Maybe it's because it reached rank 1, that's why. Above him, Wu Ziyu stood amidst his massive tangles. He had noticed what was happening underground and told him to be careful. But tree calculation was not as good as heaven's calculation. King has already injured the monster down there. But where is the honey badger? Aren't you bathing in a hot spring to heal your injuries? Underground, the little saint somehow quickly pulled out the giant turtle's blood herb, causing it to go crazy and scream until it was deafening. King cast spirit power, strengthening the spirit to lift up rocks and earth to fight the giant turtle. Unfortunately, the strength is too different. The giant turtle raised his foot and kicked hard, causing the surrounding rocks to crumble. The scope of damage is extremely large. The noise is also loud. According to attract Wine Wolf and Little Pink, who were entering through the cave entrance on the ground. A small explosion suddenly appeared on the snow surface. Then there was a huge explosion. Giant turtle jumped up from the ground to chase King. King took the blood herb and deliberately ran to lure the giant turtle to Wu Ziyu. The giant turtle was a ninja, so the Earth Bullies built a castle thousands of kilometers long. Tens of thousands of meters high surrounded King. King accepts some physical moves directly through the wall that the giant turtle built. But blood herb cannot be like that. Stuck inside, it turned out that the giant turtle did not have Earth Bullies to capture King. Apparently it only targets blood herb. The distance to Wu Ziyu is still too far. If it runs away like that, it's a bad thing. Is having a headache. Then from behind King, something very fast came rushing towards him. That thing penetrated the earth wall, surprising the giant turtle. What kind of crazy person would crawl into its walls? Open your eyes and see clearly, the crazy honey badger is coming. The honey badger jumped up and directly used its claws to scratch the giant turtle's face. It's a bit painful, but more frustrating. King looked inside through the hole the honey badger had just drilled. Oh my god! Honey badger actually used an iron head to stab straight into the earth wall. Makes it bleed a little. I don't know if the stab hit any nerve or not, but it was too risky. Standing tall facing the giant turtle. Oh my god! The honey badger is not even as good as the giant turtle's claw. King was outside shouting for the honey badger to come back. It was just a honey badger that had just entered stage 6. How could it confront the rank 1 beast? King screamed at the top of his lungs, but the honey badger didn't hear him. In his mind, there were only 2 words: revenge. The honey badger rushed forward. Giant turtle uses his second Earth Bulleyes move. Stomping creates countless sharp stakes sticking up from the ground. Just a slight touch will cause you to lose your life. The problem is that the honey badger is not allowed to touch it, so it quickly dodges all the stakes. Use honey badger to zigzag towards giant turtle's face. Honey badger used all his strength to hit the turtle's neck, but the turtle's skin was too thick. The honey badger's claws flew away because of that. If you can't scratch your face, play biting. Honey badger opened its mouth wide, biting its teeth on the giant turtle. It's effective. Blood started splashing out, but I don't know whose blood it was. Giant turtle looked at the honey badger with eyes that gave people chills. The honey badger flew out and his teeth were broken. In the future, I will probably have to use dentures to chew beef jerky. It's a turtle, but it's not slow. Giant turtle quickly stepped on the honey badger's face. The powerful attack threw the honey badger several hundred meters away. Probably dead. King, who had been watching enthusiastically, covered his mouth and screamed loudly. Honey badger! Honey badger lying on a fallen tree branch on the ground. The giant turtle still stands tall in front of him. King shouted, "If you continue like this, you will die. Who cares if you die or not? You have to beat him until he's angry." That's the big brother honey badger. Its mouth had no teeth left. Blood was dripping. In his mind, a scene appeared of him and the squirrel family happily sharing the fish. Next is the scene of the giant turtle's bloody feet trampling an entire family of squirrels to death. Honey badger unforgivable. He continued to rush forward demanding justice for the squirrel family. Even the giant turtle was surprised by its morale. Although very touching, in my opinion, this is a relatively stupid action. If you know the enemy and know yourself, then you will win 100 battles, right? Please don't learn from honey badger. That's very dangerous. Honey badgers are famous in the animal world for their sturdy bodies, thick skin, prominent forehead, and large nails. They are carnivorous mammals that live in Africa, West Asia, and South Asia. The entire honey badger family belongs to the scorpion zodiac, so their enemies are very stubborn, and especially the youngest type in the animal world is not afraid of anyone. Natural honey badger species. That's it. The mutated honey badger is even more fierce. A typical example is Wuziu's honey badger. Honey badger screamed. Around it, streaks of blue gas began to flare. Its feathers stood up mixed with lightning. The color of the honey badger's fur gradually changed right before King's eyes. The honey badger's entire body releases a series of large and small electric rays. Looks extremely fierce even though it's bloody. The honey badger activates the body's lightning. Use high speed to launch like a Super Saiyan. Take advantage of the crew's 90-degree turn, intentionally causing an accident with the giant turtle's lower jaw. King gasped in disbelief that the accident could throw the giant turtle's chin up high, demonstrating the power of an extremely strong stab. But to say that he could defeat the giant turtle with that attack is only a dream. Honey badger floating in midair. After causing an accident, he did not apologize at all. The giant turtle, hot as ice cream, raised his hand to slap the honey badger's beak. Just give the honey badger a warning to stop him from speeding and overtaking recklessly. But if the honey badger gets hit, it will definitely die. Fortunately, King is not just there to decorate the frame. She quickly used her mental strength to throw stones. Honey badger took the opportunity to launch, cut the giant turtle's leg. That's also reasonable. A turtle's shell is very heavy. If it cannot stand firmly, it will be difficult to move. The honey badger stopped to take a breath, then rushed back and forth like crazy around the giant turtle, causing King to look on with surprise. Even though honey badgers have a stubborn temperament or rush to pick fights with others, they don't fight stupidly. The honey badger takes advantage of the speed of bicycle racing along with the bulkiness of the giant turtle's body to continuously injure it. The honey badger's strength even made King begin to believe that it could win. Don't forget that the honey badger has only just entered stage 7 and the turtle has already reached rank 1. King at stage 9 still has to watch and occasionally throw rocks, not daring to fight the turtle directly. The honey badger jumped up and clung to the giant turtle's neck like a flea. This flea does not suck blood but knows how to curse, constantly cursing at my mother. Not only that, he also knows how to discharge electricity. The honey badger's electric current was extremely unique, like a blue flame, but it was lightning. Generally painful, giant turtle leaned back on the ground. Just falling can be so powerful that the entire surrounding area collapses. Honey badger raised his mouth and smiled. I say it's almost fun to death. 1. King raised his hands in celebration. The honey badger was panting like a dog. He looked down in relief for a second, then immediately took a bite and flew 1,000 meters away. The honey badger's burst attacks deal 3% damage. The remaining 97% makes giant turtle's blood boil. The honey badger lay on the ground continuously vomiting blood. King was extremely worried that perhaps she was too panicked to think of a way to save the honey badger. But it was me. I carried a honey badger under my arm and ran 8,000 meters. Giant turtle is now truly counterattacking. First, he kicked the bile and vomited blood. Then came the ramming. Who let you touch it? King came out of nowhere and threw stones at him. Giant turtle turned and glanced at King. I've been holding on to you for a while now. It opened its throat and used the breath of 100 years of not brushing its teeth to attack King. Sweet smelling. King couldn't bear it anymore and screamed miserably. Honey badger has never been lazy in fighting before. His entire youth was immersed in taking advantage of strong opponents. Thanks to that, a stubborn mentality is born. I'm not afraid of the guys who say, "Do you know who your father is?" I'm not even afraid of monsters bigger than me, especially not afraid of death. Honey badger is not afraid of failure. Use all your strength to move forward. It doesn't care what the difference in strength is in this match. What the badger cares about is that the whole squirrel family died in front of it, but it couldn't even bite the turtle. It was not willing. It had to bite the turtle with all its strength. Otherwise, its heart will be tormented by its own pride and suffer endlessly. Its little head knows no other way than to rush into battle. Its whole body was covered in blood. It was so helpless that it burst into tears, but it still headed straight towards the giant turtle. Not because of love, but because I want to use death to protect my dignity. It's ready for that. Honey badger opened your mouth and screamed loudly. Raised his tiny fist, preparing to attack. It looks both pitiful and cursed. Thinking about it, I was already planning to die. Do you know how many people are still at home waiting to go home? If it were human, it would be the type of person that cannot be liked but cannot be hated either. Don't like it because of your impulsive temperament. Don't hate it because of your noble spirit. Giant turtle saw the honey badger raise his hand. He also raised his hand, and both of them high-fived happily. King also wanted to smash it when she saw it. Bang your head against the wall. King's face turned pale, and he shouted loudly for the honey badger to get away. Of course it can't be dodged, but it also doesn't want to be dodged. It was determined to high-five the giant turtle, but some people compete for its fun slot. The giant black pillar banged boom on the giant turtle's head. Why do you say you're happy but you don't feel happy at all? The turtle said. It rolled into the dirt wall. Rolling was so fun, I didn't want to stop. I almost rolled right out. Honey badger floats in midair. He asked with his head full. Whoever competes for his high-five slot, so, it's my boss who's not present, but is still handsome. Through the hole you made, the roots penetrated here. He also showed nobility and wrapped his roots into a big snake. I thought I hated snakes so much, so why did I wrap it into its shape? Wu Ziyu sent not just one root but many roots. Each one is big, long, black, and hairy. The giant turtle is now just a tiny turtle in front of the roots of the willow tree. Wu Ziyu specially used a root to wrap around the honey badger and pull it back. The attack was so fast that only now did King realize that this was Wu Ziyu's root. Finally caught up. Don't have time to try. Do you regret your whole life? The roots twist in all sorts of ways, but the point is that they all point towards the giant turtle. Wu Ziyu could not directly carry the roots and run here, so he ordered King to transmit his consciousness there. King can only wait, so do it immediately. She reached out and touched the roots. Wu Ziyu blinked twice. Everything is seen clearly. If Wu Ziyu carried the egg, it would mean he was a big turtle. Serious egg. King is serious. The root snake is also serious. Only the giant turtle is mushy iron. From now on, the situation has changed. Entering the field to replace the honey badger was a large black mass of roots. Giant Turtle never saw the egg in the middle of that root boss. I also don't know how strong and weak the roots are because the willow tree is not directly here. He only knew that he had just been knocked on the head, so painfully, so he had to go back and knock on those roots. That's the way it is, but I don't know if it can be done. Wu Ziyu, through consciousness transmission, had the opportunity to judge the giant turtle. As expected, the giant turtle is a mutated creature possessing elemental powers. Thanks to Lingxi, he practiced in hiding. If you live peacefully like that, you won't suddenly rise up and trample the whole squirrel family to death. So today I got a knock on the head. While focusing on the giant turtle, the honey badger's cry caught Wu Ziyu's attention. Mom, the egg has purple pupils. Just saw it today. Honey badger is nestled in the trem roots. Plus he had a bit of a headache and drank milk a lot. Wu Ziyu didn't have milk but knew how to calm people down. He praised the honey badger for being so good at holding out until now. In addition, we can guess that the giant turtle must have created great karma with the honey badger, causing it to risk its life to fight. Now you can rest. The remaining stage is left to the egg. The honey badger is strong in the world and only weak in Wu Ziyu. It shrinks. He held his head in his hands and sobbed. Looks like he's being spoiled. It shows its own weakness because it completely believes in Wu Ziyu. The giant turtle, who had been silent for a while because he was stunned, had now regained his composure. It rushed forward to attack the roots. Xiaoqing warned that the giant turtle's defense was very high. Absolutely don't fight it. But it seems Wu Ziyu is hard of hearing so he can't hear clearly. Huh, what? Stabbed him through the body? Awk! Wu Ziyu's root ring broke off one side of the giant turtle's horn. Xiaoqing and the honey badger watched in shock. Seeing Wu Ziyu fight so easily, why did the two of them fight so hard just now? Wu Ziyu just missed the giant turtle's head because he was holding the honey badge, so it was a bit entangled. Just now, he was still gently speaking deliciously and sweetly. In the blink of an eye, one kick and throwing people away like trash is truly a bad thing. I thought the honey badger was thrown straight to the ground, but it turned out that a driver picked me up. Little Pink uses her back to support the honey badger. Carry honey badger home in her bewilderment. Giant turtle lost its perfectly symmetrical horns. It screamed bitterly, immediately stamped his feet and cast earthball eyes. When his feet touched the ground, the sharp stake stabbed up, horizontally, vertically, and stabbed towards Wu Ziyu. He was not upset at all. If a root is cut as lightly as a feather, if it doesn't touch you then don't touch me. Touching me is a bit tiring, baby. I will force you to practice yoga at a strong mode. First, wrap the roots around your body. Next is lifting. Earth-type players are not allowed to play on the ground. If they leave the ground, they are considered trash. Without saying much, he directly dislocated the turtle's joints. Services include kumquat soaking, cupping, acupuncture without bleeding at no charge. Wu Ziyu's attack created great pressure, like a storm. The audience sat in VIP seats watching the match, and the wind wanted to blow their wigs away. Giant Turtle was still breathing, so Wu Ziyu gave him another punch. A literal punch with a huge axe. He shouted, "But why do my pupils suddenly look stupid?" The giant turtle spun around in the air, dizzy. Then Wu Ziyu assisted him in filming by punching him out of the chicken coop. 200 meters away, giant turtle rolled another 400 meters and finally stopped and died due to dizziness. Wu Ziyu regained 8,000 evolution points. I asked the snake in hell to look at himself and see how the system was paying such a low price of 90 points. Honey Badger looked at the turtle with its mouth open. Its vengeance has been paid. The honey badger pursed his mouth tightly and said, "It pleases me, you turtle." While watching, if you're busy eating or taking a shower, just click the save button here. When you have free time, go back and watch YouTube. It will play the last part right away. Do this so you don't get tired of finding anything again. Let's continue the story together. Giant Turtle moved his household to live with Baby Snake. The entire She mineral cave it occupied is now transferred to Wu Ziyu. He was so happy, flying around with so much ore, it was all mine, and when he saw the ore, Ling Shi laughed like he had won the lottery. There is also a more pro VIP one. Blood herb is especially delicious. Please eat it. Hot goods just snatch from someone else. Then what is yours will be yours. What's yours is still yours. This pile of stone minerals was dug up and brought back directly. In order to store all the minerals, Wuziu used his roots to open several underground warehouses and flew a plane to Vietnam to ask for a map of the Cu Chi tunnels, which he built to create a large underground cave. Land, stone minerals will be carried by the most productive pets, Little Pink and the Wine Wolf. They dragged each big bundle back to the cave. After having stone minerals, Little Pink and Hixioking can use them to level up. Wuziu continued to create 10 more small caves to create an underground boarding house. One room for each child. Good, everything is fully prepared. Now you can comfortably raise your rank. Wuziu's employees, who are paid in house milk, are extremely productive. Half a day brought back a bunch of lingxi. According to Hixioking, the ore mine that Giant Turtle monopolizes is medium grade. Compared to the one occupied by the centipede, it is larger. Wuziu used the roots to wrap around the pile of lingxi. A feeling of refreshment spreads throughout the body. Erect all the roots and branches. The immense spiritual energy signals a desirable change. In cold winters, normal birds will fly south to avoid the cold. But the unusual birds woke up and were able to fight the cold and stay. Little did they know that it was the worst move of their lives. While flying in the sky, he was suddenly caught. Those that can fly have a hard time escaping. It's even harder for those walking to escape.